A BB bomb. A BB bomb. A BB, a BB, a BB bomb. I know it's a bit random, but I thought since, I haven't done one of these ever, I thought, it'd be fun to do a little tier list. Let me preface this by saying I am not a pro. This is just my experiences for each and every character, all 24 of them, 25. I don't remember the exact number, but this is my experiences with the characters and where I think they should be placed. Of course, some of them will probably coincide with what a lot of people agree with, but I'm sure a lot of them are probably gonna, shock a few of you. But I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna, order these. Maybe I'll just go as they're ordered, or I'll just bounce around to people I want to talk about, as they cross my mind. But of course, we're just going to start it off with, some of the easy picks. Johnny, to me, I think Johnny is probably the best character in the game. I know, a lot of people say Kenshi, that's great. But to me, it's Johnny. It's definitely Johnny for the simple fact that he's very easy to use in relation to Kenshi, who requires, stances and all of that. Great mix-ups, great, really great movement. And once he's on you, and especially in the corner, he's stuck to you like glue, and it is annoying to try to get Johnny off of you. It is absolutely, if you aren't actually good at blocking against Johnny or just in general, you're gonna hate your life because it just feels like it's just plus frames on top of plus frames, and it never really feels like it's your turn. Not to mention, it does kind of feel like Johnny gets to do things that are specifically tailored for Johnny that other characters can't do, and in some ways, I'd like that Johnny is the way he is in Mortal Kombat 1. Because it feels like he has an answer for almost every situation in the game. Of course, he still has some weaknesses, but even those can be mitigated with Lao or whatever. But actually talking about this, I'm going to try as least as possible. That is not English. I'm going to try as much as possible to not include cameos. I just want to talk about the characters for what they are, leaving out, the cameos, because cameos will take, bad characters and just shoot them up the tier list. I want to just talk about the characters themselves. Next is Kenshi. Once again, I've already explained, to me, I think while Johnny is number 1, Kenshi would still be top 3 at the very least. Once he gets Sento out, it is 20 seconds of pure unadulterated bullshit. I know you guys have seen it in some of my matches where once the Sento stance comes out, I try to run as far away from him as possible, because once that ghost gets stuck to you, you are probably not going to be able to get out of it. There's a very strong chance that you're not going to be able to block all 20 seconds. And even if you do, they're still doing about a combo on you through just straight chip damage, because they do so much chip together that at some point it's like, man, even though I blocked all of it, I still basically lost because I lost so much health from it. And, there are, some gaps in the strings where you can, armor through it. But as a Havoc player, you don't get that luxury to armor through all of it, because a lot of times Kenshi can just, punch through all the armor, and you lost a bar and you lost a whole bunch of health anyway. I think that he has really great movement too, and a ridiculously long-ranging mid. Seriously, Havoc, please, can we buff my man's mid? Anyway, next we have Smoke. Online Smoke would be like right here, but to me, if there was a poster child for like a casual crusher, he is probably that. What is perceived to be fast overheads, fast lows. And once people start mixing in the smoke cancels, now it really gets out of hand for a lot of the newer people. For me personally, doing the overhead out of neutral, I can react to that. Simply just because he turns himself into a puff of smoke, so the animation is so like obvious. Even though like outside of him, I think his overhead's 28. If it's 28, 27, then that's about the same range as Natara's overhead, Sub-Zero's overhead, and I believe Ashra's. And yet I can't react to none of those. I don't know. Maybe I'm just garbage. Not to mention, the whole invisible mix-ups for Smoke are bullshit, because you just gotta have to hope you luck out. That's like the best way I can explain it. You have to hope that you can block enough to get him out of the, or to get him out of the invisible stance, or not stance, but the invisibility, so you can actually see his mix-ups. Yeah, to me, Smoke is just a really good character with a lot of gaps in his strings. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, he has a lot of gaps in his strings. And as somebody who is stupid, I just don't respect no smoke. Like, if they try to do smoke cancels, any of that, I will continually press buttons. I don't care what you let go. I'm going to press buttons. I'm stupid. Next, Liu Kang. If we were talking about matchups for Havoc, he would be up here. I fucking hate Liu Kang. Mainly because he gets to do some really, first of all, combo wise, dude is sick. I really like his combos. He's not MKX level Liu Kang, but he is definitely better, in my opinion, MK11's combo wise. Moveset wise, he's I would say he's a little bit more boring than MK11's. MK11's was a different beast, but this one, really, it's just the pretty much the same mix-up as MK11's. The 4-4 mix-up, or pretty much just setup, or not setups, but you know, what is it? Frame trap? I don't remember the word for it, but really the main thing every player has gone through is Liu Kang loving the back throw, where he gets to do about 26-ish% without, you know, meter or any of that other stuff. In terms of movement, the way bro whiff punishes it's sexy. I love it. Now him zoning, I don't like, but that's simply just because I don't like zoners. Moving on. Sub-Zero. I would like to preface this by saying this is through the eyes of a Havoc main. I don't like it. I don't like him. I'd put him in A. I know a lot of people have him as like the second worst, or the first or second worst in the what's it called. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll keep him down. And now I'll keep him at A. To me, I think that Sub-Zero does obviously need buffs, obviously. But the Ice Clone, really just, you know, punch into, you know, Ice Clone is ridiculous. And the fact that he kind of got a little bit of the setups in in the corner, where if he puts an Ice Clone pretty much right on top of you and reaches up to grab you, whether you like it or not, you're going to get frozen, because the animation still has to play, where he kind of pulls you back to the clone a little bit, and it frees you for, well, it's not going to be a lot of damage, but it's still damage. The overhead is really slow, but, you know, it'll still catch somebody online, because, you know, it's online. Beyond that, he doesn't necessarily have anything that I would particularly say is like really busted. Well, I won't say those things are busted, but I would just say, you know, memorable of his kit. I'm glad they finally changed his Ice Clones. I still think that the Ice Clones are absolute dog shit. The EX Ice Clone, I think that's still dog shit. I would love for him to I'd love for him to get the MKX what's called, where he can throw his clone at the person at least, or something, because I still don't get why you would want to make 3 Ice Clones. I just don't get it. Scorpion. Yeah. Buddy is terrible. I can't. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I beat every Scorpion I come across, but man, he's not particularly good. There are a lot of the Scorpions I play now are really just, you know, round start, back up, and throw the spear at you. Hope it lands. Maybe they try to do a little floor lava, what's it called, and then get a little bit closer to do the back 3. Once again, since I'm Havoc, I can't necessarily punish that, because the roll is, I think, like 2 frames slower than the punish window for it. But pretty much everybody else can punish that. If they try to do a back 3, Johnny can just kick you. I think Melina can roll it, but either way, yeah, that, or they'll try to do the forward 3, the knee, what's called. I still don't know why that's a high. Can we? I get it's a launcher, but I think personally I would like to see the launch that be like a mid. I don't mind that. And then of course he has a little of what Raiden and Baraka do, where they'll do a down one or anything into Scorpion's little spear spin move. It's not good. I would say it's not particularly good, but You know, it's free chip. If you don't know how to flawless block, it's free chip. Other than that, well, no, he also has good damage. Like, if there's one thing that Scorpion does have, it's good damage, which I would say most of the cast has at least average to above average damage, except maybe like 4 or 5 people. Next is Katana. To me, I would put her all the way up here. And I say this because this bitch is stupid. I do not like playing katanas most of the time, especially if they use jacks, because you know exactly why they're using jacks. Because it's the little one in the corner where they'll put the little wind, what's it called, up, and you pretty much have to change your timings on wake up to make sure you don't get hit with a free combo. Not to mention, it's the, I don't know the buttons for it, but the one where she like goes up in the air a little bit, so when Jax, you know, punches the ground, she doesn't get hit, but you do. She has first of all, she has saucy combos as well, but she just does so much BS that I'm shocked that more people don't use her. I don't use her because I've never liked the way Katana has played, but I'm just shocked that more people don't use her. Actually, I'm glad people don't use her because I would have a whole lot more losses on my record, but man, I just do not like Katana at all. Lao, Kung Lao, I'd put him somewhere like right back here, somewhere around here, simply just because I can't really name anything that I find particularly annoying about Lao, except the safe armor launcher. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that you can, first of all, the fact that it's safe. Really, that's the main one. To pretty much be able to go, yeah, I can, basically get out of jail free card. Like, Havoc technically doesn't have to worry about it because if you know it's coming, you just pay a bar and you do 22 back to him. But even still, that's not particularly a fun thing to go against. Beyond that, he really is just kind of boring to go against. You know what I mean? It's, 2-1 that makes up, or it's overhead low, the low, or not low, I think it's a mid. No, it's a low. That could be an overhead or low afterwards, or the overhead hat. It's not really annoying to go against, more so tedious. I wouldn't say a lot of these characters so far on this list are annoying to go against, except these two. Well, no, these three. They're more just a little bit, they range from tedious to, fun. Because I think fighting Liu Kang and Smoke are actually fun to fight. Sub-Zero and Scorpion, they range from like really annoying to tedious. Next is Melina. I'm not sure where I would put Melina. It's definitely somewhere in this range, but I'm not sure where. Real honest, I think I'll leave her right here. More like here. I think I'll leave her right there, simply just because, at least against Havoc, she is a very YOLO character where it, pretty much to get in, she has to pretty much either the ball roll or the teleport, and that is, she pretty much lives and dies off that. Of course, she still has I think that's 1-2, where it's the overhead or the overhead low mix-ups, which I still believe Melina's use Scorpion, but obviously she still has really, really good damage, like really good damage. Since release, I do think she's fallen off. She's absolutely one of the more fun characters to go against. I hate her throw because it doesn't look like a throw. Like, it just looks like she sticks her arm out and then the animation just happens. It's not as exaggerated as everybody else's, where they like look like they're trying to give you a hug. More so, it's like, weird. You know what I mean? More so, just the animation is quick. I'll say that. In terms of movement, she has decent enough movement. It's definitely better than Havoc's, but I wouldn't put it, up there with Johnny's, but I definitely do think she has some really good movement. Her mix-up game can be good. I think a lot of the Melinas I've gone against recently haven't been doing that, but a lot of time they're really just clipping me while I'm doing a move because I'm just bad at the game. That's really what it is. I'm just bad at the game. Rain. See, Rain is one of those characters where I'm not sure, because to me, Rain is one of those characters where it depends on the pilot. Like, you have the zoner Rains where if they really know how to zone with Rain, he's somewhere like right here. But a lot of the times it's the ones who want to go for the combo variant that puts him more so like right here, in my opinion. Actually, yeah. You know what? Yeah, more so right here. I think I'd be fine with that. Where Rain a lot of times is going to try to use the Sub-Zero mix-up, where he'll put the water thing on the floor, and you have to guess between the overhead low for another combo. But if it's the zoner Rain, where they, put the orb up and they're trying to do keep away, if you don't have a way to deal with zoners or zoning techniques or any of that, I would say he's probably up here, 1 or 2 spots up here. But I'll just do a happy medium of this, somewhere around here. A happy medium of between these two. He can be fun to go against depending on what style of Rain you're going against. But more often than not, he's you know what I mean? He's more so just an annoyance to fight if he's a zoner. That's really, if you play Rain the way he's technically supposed to be played, he's a zoner. And when he's played like that, I would rather not have to fight that. Li Mei. I ain't gonna lie, I do think people are sleeping on this character. The whole, being able to combo from, a down one is hilarious. So I'm still surprised most people aren't able to do it as often. Because sometimes you'll run into a Li Mei who can, they'll punish a down one with the, what's the word? Like the little up kick for a full combo. And a lot of times, you just sitting there with your mouth open, because if there's somebody in this game who does a lot of damage, it's Li Mei. Li Mei does crazy amounts of damage. To the point where you just sitting there like, bro, how in the fuck are you, how is this character not, top 5? I wouldn't put her top 5, but she absolutely deserves a little bit of recognition here. Because, once again, I think a lot of the reasons why a lot of people aren't using Li Mei is because they just don't like the way she plays. A lot of times it's, back up and do a little purple glow over and over and over. And once your opponent gets lulled, to sleep, you just knee him in their chest. That and, visually, she's very boring. A lot of fireworks, that's great. But her character design, really, really boring. Li Mei was on my list of characters I wanted to use. I just dropped her because, once again, she's very boring to look at and very boring to play, in my opinion. A lot of plus frames. She has a lot of plus frames. It's just she doesn't have a lot of ways to really access them. She kind of reminds me of Havoc in that way, but or a lot of things to do after them, because she has a lot of them. I think she has one that's like +8, +7 or something like that. It's just her the mid after it is kind of buns. But yeah, I definitely do think she needs to be somewhere in this range, somewhere like here or here, in my opinion. Yeah, I think that's a perfect place to leave her, in my, to me. Baraka. So, this is online. This is absolutely online, Baraka. In fact, where is he? Yeah, these two are ridiculous, because online, I'm going to talk about these two at the, basically the same time, since they more or less play the exact same. These two are stupidly good online because their playstyle breaks down to, do you know how to flawless block? And if you don't, guess what? You're going to have a bad game. Very boring one-dimensional playstyles like this are absolutely atrocious to play against. Whether it's, Raiden's down 1 into Storm Cell, or Baraka's, down 1 into little, I want to say this is Chop Chop. Either way, their game style is more or less the exact same. Try to chip out the opponent over and over and over and over and over until, they die. And to me, if you take that away, they probably drop to somewhere like down here. You know what I mean? I just do not like them. I don't like them. I didn't like Raiden when he was able to do it with Cyrax. I didn't like Baraka when he was able to do it with Cyrax. And now they're able to do it with Stryker. So, they can do it with Kano as well, but, the main one is Stryker. It really just means that I would like to see these people nerfed before the end of this, or see these people nerfed or reworked, whatever, before or when Peacemaker drops in a couple days. Next is Tanya. Now hear me out. Once again, all people who have seen this channel know that I am a Havoc main. So when I say I think Tanya might be like a, you know what, I'll put her here. You know what? Yeah, I'll put her all the way up here. I think Tanya was made to hate on Havocs. Like if there was somebody who was born as a generational hater of Havoc, it's her. Wake ups, armor, all of that is nullified for as Havoc against Tanya because she hits so many times. Not to mention she has the same thing as Tanya, or not Tanya, Kung Lao, where she can just throw out kicks over and over and over and just throw out Goro to make sure that she's safe. Same thing where Goro can just send you upwards and it's full combo. I do not like Tanya. And it's really nothing about her moveset. It's more so just, once again, her wake up being able, or her armored move being able to just constantly, you know, be used with pretty much impunity. And I personally am not a fan of that. Like, the way I see it, I would put her, you could talk me into putting her 3 spots, you know, here, here, or here. I think I'm going to leave her here. I'll probably rearrange this at the end. Just, you know, mentally check it, you know, obviously. But I think I'd put her somewhere in that range. Simply just because, for one, all that damage, the buttons are stupid. Like her, I think it's stand 3 where she just, you know, sends the staff, you know, halfway across the map. And it just hits you in the head because this man Havoc is the size of the Empire State Building. Ugh, I do not like Tanya at all. Geras, Gare Bear. You don't really run across too many good Gyarases in this game. Most because his moveset is very long. Like, it is really long. It's about as long as Reigns. But to me, I'd put him... Yeah, I think I put him somewhere like right there. And this is simply just because of lack of knowledge from me. I'm sure most people, you know, who have gone against it at higher ranks, whatever, will probably put him higher and lower. I don't know. But for me, Geras is probably one of maybe... No, he's probably the only character left that I don't have a genuine concrete idea of what I'm going against most of the time. Because a lot of time, you know, of course, it's, you know, the chest bump into, you know, the command grab. But beyond that, I don't really go against a lot of Gyarases because I guess the character's too hard or he's just not liked enough. But from what I do know, the command grab is cool. And his, I want to say that the sweep, his back 4, the one where he like pushes the sand at you, it's really good button. That is stupid how far it goes. It's about as far as I want to say Reiko's. Wait a minute, where is Reiko in this? I think Geras has a lot of interesting things that just a lot of people aren't necessarily good at. Actually, you know what? There's one thing that I do know that I think would push him a little bit over Liu Kang. This man gets a 1 bar breaker if he has the little hourglass. I think it's 1 or 2 sets in the hourglass. He'll be able to break out of any combo for 1 bar. That is crazy. I think that alone, if he ever gets buffed in the right way, I could imagine him being the best character in the game off the strength of that type of stuff alone. But man, 1 bar breaker, that is crazy. It's amazing. Next is Reptile. I don't know if I would put him bottom 5, but I could see bottom 10. That's fair enough. Reptile is one of those characters where I have a lot of problems with him, but he's also, in my opinion, one of the most fun characters to fight in the game. His back 3 is like his main move, obviously. That and the whole, like when he starts running at you and tries to do the whole, he'll run behind you into the overhead. I don't know. It's just a lot of his what's called is very dependent on the cameo, so he can go invisible and do a whole lot of his like invisible shenanigans. But it's not as good as Smoke's because whether he's caught blocking or any of that, it still goes away. Which to me is kind of whack. Even like especially for how long it takes for him to go invisible. I think that he should, even if he's blocks or whatever, it shouldn't go away. Well, at least even on EX or something like that. Who knows? But other than that, the overhead or the lizard overhead where he jumps, he can cancel it into the low. You know, I'm not gonna say that that's good. It'll get hit me because I'm bad at the game, but I could definitely see a lot of people. What's it called? The reason I think I have him this far back, I don't know. It's just I can't really mentally see myself going. You know, seeing him being better than most of the people in front of him. Maybe Melina. Typically, because I think he has a better mix-up game, maybe, than Melina. Nah. I think I'm gonna just stick like this, especially since Scorpion got that safe overhead now. So I think that since Melina is able to just let that fly willy-nilly for a lot more damage than Reptile, I think that might have been the back. Next, Ashura. I love fighting Ashura. Ashura is one of those characters where she doesn't really feel like she does anything broken or unfair, any of that. When I fight her, at least, she feels fun to fight. The overhead, the low, the little like sword attack where she's like +7 if it lands. The only thing I wish is that they leaned more heavily into her light and darkness thing. Maybe there was like some stances you could do in there or something, but in terms of fighting her, she doesn't really feel like she does anything completely unfair that you're just like, yo, who made this character? Like, these four in front of you, you get frustrated fighting them. I think Ashura might be the first S tier character so far that when you fight her, she's ridiculous. She's fun ridiculous, not I hate this character ridiculous. Sindel, now, I know this one's gonna throw a lot of people off. If anything, she would be somewhere right here, but due to ease of use, I would put her at 5 for online, simply just because a lot of people are not just going to be able to do her, you know, overhead low mix-up stuff where you got one frame to guess it, that kind of stuff at the drop of a hat. I think that, especially since a lot of her air combos and stuff, or air, you know, tricks, aren't exactly the easiest to execute. You know what? I think I'll do it like this. They aren't necessarily the easiest to execute. Whereas these three, you could be a monkey who was just born and, you know, you will do at least semi-decent with these three. I think these three back here, you at least have to have some type of IQ to play with effectively. Not even just effectively, just semi-well. But yeah, Sindel, as stated before, the little overhead low mix-up stuff. What is that, back 2, I want to say? The one where the little hair whip attack, that one's ridiculous. Good zoning. The fact that she can lock down cameos and break breakers, she can break a breaker, is ridiculous. The fact that she can steal your cameo, like, she has a lot of crazy tools that a lot of times you really probably not gonna see. Like when I got hit by my own attack where she stole my cameo, I forgot she could even do that. Not to mention her wake up is pretty good. Her armored attack is really good, fast, overhead, and can catch some people by surprise. I do like Sindel. She is a really strong character that if I were, well, not honest, if I weren't taking into account, you know, how online plays, she'd probably be like here or here, and Kenshi would be like here. Like, this would probably be the way it would look, but for online and how easy these characters are to use next to how annoying they are to fight, it's pretty much this exact order. Shao Kahn to me isn't, he's a lot like how I felt about him in MK11. You kind of get a sigh of relief when you play against a Shao Kahn, because a lot of times they're just not very good. Like, it's very rare you'll find a Shao Kahn that pilots him at a high level. However, I do think Shao Kahn, and I'm going to call him Shao Kahn, I don't care if his name is General Shao, his name is Shao Kahn. I think most people just don't use his stances enough, or his stances well enough, I should say. Whereas, you know, when you fight the ones that, you know, they're able to do the little low overhead without the axe, get the axe back, you know, do 48%, and then put the axe back down so you right back in the mix up. That shit is amazing. But more often than not, you're fighting people who are pretty much going for, you know, the garbage pail kid combos and setups. Button wise, I think he's relatively slow. Not to mention, I do think that I would have loved for him to be able to do the slams from, like, you know how the overhead, if you finish the combo and he grabs you and slams you, I'd love to be able to do the axe slam from that anyway. So, you know, you can finish the combo, slam them, and then slam them, you know, again and send them back up for a pop-up. That would be fine. I think that would be fine as a buff for him. But yeah, overall, he is a very fun character to go against when the person, you know, used them high level. Quan Chi, the worst character in the game. The worst. I do not like Quan Chi. I think I made one video on him and then immediately dropped him. I used him maybe a day and was like, hey, I'm not playing this dude. No damage, slow buttons. I still don't know the use of his, the little floor cage. I really don't know the use of his repel, like when you EX the Netherrealm move. What the fuck? Who is doing that? Like, if there was anyone who is very cameo reliant, it's Quan Chi. He is very weak. And it's been, what, 2 months? It might have been a month by now. No, it's been 2 months since Quan Chi's been out, and I think I can count on one hand how many Quan Chi's I've seen today, or not even today, in the past, you know, like month. The dude fell. He fell off hard. He's not good in my opinion. I think he is definitely the worst character in the game, especially since he is super hard to pilot at a even semi mid to high level. Like, trying to zone is impossible if you don't know how to set people up. While he does have good buttons, like the stand for the kick is really good, a lot of people aren't going to be using that or using him effectively. And I think for that reason, Quan Chi is probably the worst character in the game. And for that reason, I think Quan Chi is probably the worst character in the game. Omni-Man, I'd put him somewhere like right here. Yeah, I think Omni-Man really lives and dies off his cameo. I think without his cameo, he's like right here. You know what I mean? Like somewhere back here, because he really lacks a way to really open an opponent up without his cameo. Of course, because I'm trying to talk about these without cameos, obviously. But without cameos, I do think he's somewhere around here. The forward 2 is really slow, and if it's blocked, it's punishable. The forward 3, while it's semi-fast, still blocked, it's full punishable. He doesn't have crazy frames. There's the 1-2 that leaves him +3, but outside of that, what more does he really have? The Viltrumite stance from neutral is absolutely god-awful. It is fun. I will say it is very fun to do the Viltrumite stance EX and dodge everything and then, you know, grab him by the face and take him to the stratosphere. That's really fun. But the odds are you're not really going to be landing that often enough to really warrant him being that high. Though I don't have him on here, I think I might be missing another character, but though I do not have him on here, Reiko would be somewhere in between Liu Kang or Omni-Man, pretty much right here, where my mouse is. I would definitely say he's somewhere right there. No. In terms of annoyance online, I would definitely probably... Wait, how the hell did Gears get this high? Wait a minute. How the fuck did he get that high? Yeah, Reiko, I think I'd probably put him right here. Actually, you know what? I think I'll put Gears right here. But, yeah, somewhere right between Smoke and Liu Kang, where Reiko, though he is a grappler, technically, is a zoner. Let's be honest. That's what we know Reiko as now, where pretty much round start, he backs up and throws a shuriken, which it does insane amounts of chip. It does insane amount of meter gain. And then anytime you try to really make any genuine pushes at him, he'll hit you for 1,000, or he'll hit you and then, you know, do a command grab with a Tremor, a Darius, whatever. Really, the name of the game is just you constantly are having to work in on Reiko, which most of the time is not fun to fight because it feels more like Reiko's playing and you're not playing at all. It just feels like you're playing, you know, cat and mouse. It's not really fun for most of the player base, I would say. If a Reiko chooses to be in your face and he actually tries to be a grappler, he is fun. I don't understand why he has no tick throws or any of that, but I think even then, I would say Reiko is probably somewhere in this range anyway. I wouldn't say that I wouldn't say I'd put him anywhere, you know, in the S rank, but in terms of online, I definitely do think he's somewhere right here. A lot of plus. He also has a few really weird plus frames. His down 4 is ridiculous. It is probably, I would say, the third best down 4 in the game, in my opinion, something like that, somewhere in that range. The back 2, which leaves him plus 8, I believe, which is basically it jails into everything. So if you try to press a button, he will win. I think beyond, like, he has fun buttons, the overhead, the low, or his sweep, which is also super plus. He's ridiculous. He's ridiculous. And second, you know what? I'll do a little, what's it called? We'll do it like that. But and last but not least, Havoc. Now, people who know this channel know that I'm a Havoc main, know that I am a really big fan. Oh, hold on, wait. Know that I am a really big fan of Havoc. I have been using him since day one. A lot of people, you know, would probably like to know, where do I put Havoc? Is he somewhere, you know, up here? You know, is he somewhere down here? I'm sad to say, I would put him right there. Probably about the third worst. I think that he has tools that are better fit. Actually, no, I'd say about right there. That are better fit than Scorpion and Quan Chi. You know what? I think I'll do it this way. Yeah, I think this is fine. That are better fit than Quan Chi and Scorpion, but doesn't really have as much going for him as these guys up here. While he does have some fun things, fun ideas on him, you know, the neck break for, you know, free damage, the heat-seeking orb, and a lot of really good frame data, he lacks a way to really utilize any of it. The fact that the back forward 3, the mouth orb, is too slow to really be used in any, you know, good capacity besides, you know, far away and you have to EX it. The fact that if you're hit while you EX the back forward 1 orb, it pretty much is it was a waste of bar. The fact that his back 2, or most of his buttons are very slow and he doesn't have damage to compensate for this bad damage. Or sorry, he doesn't have the damage to compensate for these bad buttons. It's very weird. Not to mention, at the time of me recording this, there's still the glitch of Havoc's command grab from the back 2, where if he's hit, you can still activate your cameo and just nullify that mix-up and just constantly take, you know, just constantly block the low. And when you're hit by his command grab, let your ambush camo, let the ambush version of your cameo fly, and you're fine. Just really slow armored wake up, just slow in general. I've made a video, if you want to watch it, I've made a video of what I think Havoc should be, what moves and buffs Havoc should have in order to become better. But yes, to me, I personally believe Havoc will probably be, or Havoc right now is a bottom 3 character that really needs buffs. I cannot stress that enough. Havoc is fun, but I don't see him, you know, contending with any of these people up here and winning these matchups over and over and over, dominating. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought about my tier list. Where would you put any of these characters? I'll be answering all questions, obviously. Yeah, I've been your boy Mementos, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.